Do I say that again? Welcome to the Books and Music Review Show. And now we'll head into the studio, and we'll probably give you a little bit of a slideshow today. I'm going to talk about plants and flowers and hydroid.
Oh.
So here we are. We're going to put that on the screen in a minute, and we're going to talk about plants and flowers. I think I'll put that on first. So do you know a lot about plants and flowers?
No, hardly anything, to be honest.
What do you know about? Do you know anything about Dusty Miller?
I know it's a really pretty flower. People seem to admire it.
Okay.
Seem to admire it.
I'm going to see if I can get this going on this little slideshow. Oh, Books and Music Review. We're trying to get a slideshow going. I've never had the slideshow going from Google Slides. Let's see if they actually have a slideshow. Oh, so I have to click it. Okay, I'll have to click it. That's not going to work well. Hold on one second. Let me put it on the screen.
Sure.
So, what's your favorite flower? Do you have a favorite flower?
I never really thought about it that much. I mean, there are a couple that are really beautiful, like orchids. I mean, we had an orchid recently. The flowers, the petals fell off, but it's still a really beautiful flower. Roses are really pretty. I never really gave it much thought, though.
I now have technical difficulties. Keep talking. So tell me, did you say roses?
Yeah, roses. Roses are great, especially not just red ones. You have.
Yes.
I mean, red ones are kind of typical. You expect roses that are red, but.
We have yellow roses
Yeah.
and red and carnation roses. Well, I call them carnation roses. They're kind of white roses with red streaks, and they look just like carnations. So much that from a distance you think they're carnations, but they call it George Burns roses. I was looking for the screen with the computer, and it didn't really come out straight on the screen. So I was going to try that one more time. So, what do you think is the easiest plant to take care of? I think you did some research on plants that take care of themselves or sturdy plants.
Yeah, I guess people assume it's the cactus just because you don't need. It can survive really strenuous conditions
The cactus.
on the dish. I don't know if that's necessarily true or not, but yeah, I did some research on different types of plants and different ways of planting, like grafting, bonsai.
Okay, so keep talking. I'm going to turn the computer screen because it doesn't seem to be focused the right way. Keep talking about the plants.
Because I mean that's another interesting thing where you graft, where you take a little branch of one plant and graft it on to a larger plant, and you can do that with bonsai. Some of the bonsai are really pretty.
Ah, the
mean-
bonsai. It's one of the few plants that we don't have, right?
Yeah, we have a lot of plants though. I mean, not
We
not
got
many-
Dusty Miller. We got
Yeah.
roses. We got bonsai. I'm thinking to try to zoom this in a little bit. I don't know if that'll help. And then we're going to start the slideshow. Now, the reason we don't have the slideshow is because I'm using Google Slides for the very first time. And apparently, Google Slides doesn't have a slideshow. See, it says view, zoom in, zoom out, animations. There's no slideshow. It just says see the slide, change the background. So I guess that I have to have a little bit more practice with Google. So in order to see the slideshow, I would actually have to, I can't tell you. Absolutely can't tell you. Okay, so I'll tell you what. We had this really good slideshow, which I'm going to take off the screen. And
You can still see a couple of the very small. images of some of the flowers that were part of the presentation, like forsythia.
Oh, maybe I can move it from here. Go ahead. You can talk while I switch it from here, and I can be off camera.
Forsythia, and I think the first, you can't really make it out, but
We can do the first one is a tulip.
Yeah, that's it. The first one is a tulip, and
Okay.
forsythia, and there are some later. I don't know if you can scroll and.
There you go. Tulip care.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah, we're going to have to get this on a slideshow. This is, I don't like, okay, so now you see what we have. I don't like Google Slides. Present, maybe that's it. Let's see, presenter view. Present from beginning. Okay, I think we got it now. Present from beginning. Well, by George, we
Okay.
got it. Hold on. So then all I have to do is click that. Okay.
All right.
Okay, present from beginning. So what do? I just click it. Flower Power, a guide to cultivating flowers. Maybe you could read it while I click it.
Oh, sure. So this is tulips in the first slide. And this is just
A little
describing.
bit louder.
Yeah, this is some of the things. This was your advice on how to take care of them. Plant bulbs once, and the flowers will grow every year. So, in that sense, they're kind of easy to take care of. Tulips come in a variety of colors, including pink, yellow, or red, as you just saw, and they can be planted both indoors and outdoors. So they're versatile.
So that's about tulips.
Yeah, forsythia.
Forsythia.
Forsythia are sturdy plants which don't require much upkeep. So again, not that much work compared to some other plants. They have yellow flowers and glossy leaves. They're not seasonal but can be enjoyed throughout the year.
And I like forsythia. Where did I get the idea about forsythia as being no care, low care? If you go to Jersey and some of the other states, you will see forsythia all along the highways. And nobody's taking care of them. It just grows.
Beach rose.
That's beautiful. That actually was one of our flowers.
Yeah, that's a really good picture.
I want to see if I can turn that. You could read it while I turn it.
Bromeliads. Just adapted for tropical climates.
Can you read that?
Bromeliads are used to humidity. They thrive in. I can kind of make it out. They thrive in warm, wet, sturdy climates. Therefore, they need to be kept moist. If exposed to too much direct sunlight, your bromeliads may experience leaf burn. In colder climates, you should plant them in containers.
Yeah, most of those, I don't know how you say that, bromeliads? That most of them, they do come in little tiny containers, small containers. I've never actually seen them growing outdoors.
And the container should have good drainage, which doesn't trap rainwater. Planting bromeliads in containers in the ground also allows you to bring them out inside before they're damaged by frost.
So let's see. So this is interesting. So you've reached the books and music show, and we're using Google Slides for the first time. We've used PowerPoint, which is really cool, and you could do a really nice. This was a PowerPoint presentation, but we're viewing it through Google Slides. I kind of like PowerPoint better, but this will do. This definitely will do. Let's see what's up on the next slide. And then I'm going to put the email address on. While you talk, I'll go get the email address.
And this is advice on how to take care of indoor bromeliads. I might be mispronouncing it, but I think that's how you say it. Overwatering bromeliads can cause root rot, sorry. They need to be planted in a pot that permits it to drain quickly. Thoroughly soak the potting medium so that the water drains. This removes salt buildup. Don't water again until the top 2 inches of potting medium are dry and may be lost to root rot. Bromeliads thrive in sunny places, but you need to avoid exposing them to direct sunlight for a long period of time. It can damage the leaves. Sorry if Sorry for the hesitations.
Ah,
by the
no,
way,
no
just-
apologies necessary. So we are the Books and Music Review Show at gmail.com. That's books.musicreview@gmail.com. We are on Saturdays at 12:30. I want to show you just another thing so we get this over with. We've already showed you their demanded or mandatory disclaimer. And this is they're mandatory produced through the facilities of the Staten Island Community Television. And now we're going to get back to
more
that.
flowers.
And I just want to show the art. There's the art email. Well, it's actually not an email address. You can go to the Art from Perry, .wordpress.com. That would be it. Okay, so we'll go back to the studio and we'll click on the next. Hold on a second. Watch is on Saturday, usually at 12. What did I say? 12:30.
Yeah, the show airs at 12:30 every Saturday.
Okay, so we'll go up to the next screen. Do you remember what's up next, or did I just click on that and we'll both see what's up next?
I think it's.
More bromeliads. Maybe you could read
Oh,
that.
this is just a continuation of the.
Right. You can tell our viewers about the tank.
Yeah, the tank is where the leaves of bromeliads meet up to form a cup. Fill the tank with rainwater and flush it regularly. If your bromeliad is mounted instead of planted, you can just mist it regularly. Never use a metal container to water a bromeliad. They're very sensitive to metal. Never use soil when potting your bromeliad. Sorry, it's too dense for quick drainage. Instead, use potting mixes designed specifically for this plant.
And as always, questions and comments, write to books.musicreview@gmail.com or go to the WordPress. Here's our email address, books.musicreview@gmail.com. So I'm going to go back into the studio and continue the slideshow. And I think we have more about bromeliads or maybe about another
Yeah.
flower. Let's see.
Orchids.
Oh, those are beautiful orchids. Blue orchids. What about orchids?
Well, in terms of growing them, they're strong. You need strong but not direct sunlight, high humidity, turbulent airflow around the roots, regular periods of drying, alternating with drenching rains, and temperature between 50 and 85 degrees.
Great. So be the first one to write in, and we will tell you the secrets of plants. I bet you've never heard of them. So we'll go back into this to the studio.
And at the end of the show, hopefully, we'll give you some citations for the sources where we
Bromeliads.
gathered
Yeah, we
most, of,
do have time for that. Yeah.
most of this information. A lot of this is
What about bonsai?
bonsai from seed. Choose seeds that grow into plants with small leaves, needles, flowers, and fruit. Make sure the seeds you collect are fresh. Crack hard-shelled seeds with pliers into the seed coat cracks, which will allow moisture to reach the kernel. Stratify seeds by mixing them with a small amount of moist peat or sand. Put this mixture in a covered container and place the container in the refrigerator for 4 weeks before sowing.
Great. So you've seen bonsai trees, right? So they just look like big old trees, but they're little, right? Haven't you? Next, more bonsais.
Yeah, so this is just more information about how to.
So let's tell our readers some more information about bonsai. We didn't read that yet, right?
No, fill a seed tray to the brim with soil and lay the seeds on the surface, spaced out evenly. Cover the seeds with a layer of soil about the same thickness of the seeds you're sowing, as the seeds you're sowing. Press the surface down lightly to keep seeds in place. Spray with water that has a fungicide. It will prevent the seeds from rotting. If the seeds are from hardy trees, the tray should be covered and placed outside.
And We're definitely copyrighted. Anything you see on the screen, you have questions or anything, write to us, and we will send you an email back within 2 weeks, or possibly sooner, depending on how much email we get. So let's go on to the next. Flowers or plants or flowers? So what do you like better, flowers or plants? What do you like better, flowers or plants? Gerard.
I mean, flowers are a part of plants. I
Now,
don't know if you can
grafting.
separate them.
This is really cool. If you have a friend who has a plant or a tree or flower or whatever, you can use grafting to make a flower or plant for yourself, right?
Yeah.
How do we do that?
A graft is a union between two plants or between two parts of the same plant. Artificial grafting involves making a wound with a knife into two parts of similar plant material, pressing the two together, making sure the layers come into contact and binding them with raffia or other suitable material until the graft is formed. Grafting only works when the stump and graft belong to the same family.
Great. I hope the viewers tune in. If they're not watching us on Saturday at 12:30 in the afternoon, that they do tune in on Saturday again and watch us at 12:30. Next, what about root grafting? What is root grafting? Tell us all about it.
A different type of grafting. Basically you add, as you can see, you add roots to the base of the trunk. So it's a union between the main tree and a small plant of the same species. So you're basically taking a smaller version of the same plant and grafting it on, fixing them together and sealing the join to exclude water from the union, which will make it bond more quickly. The seal is removed after one season's growth when the callus should have taken over.
That sounds pretty good. So I think our viewers are knowing all about grafting and about plants and flowers. You can do that with almost any plant, I think. I think you can do that with almost any plant. And the next one is all about side grafting.
Find a suitable graft from another tree or the tree itself by relocating a branch or a root. And the graft should be 5 centimeters. Make a shallow 1 centimeter incision into the bark of the stump. Don't cut into the hardwood of the tree. Take the graft and cut 1 centimeter at an angle to make it fit into the stump.
That sounds good. And to see all of the flowers and all of the different things that are in, we have lots of different pictures, not of grafting, but of many flowers and trees and wild birds and other things. And you probably can see that through the slideshows that are on artfromperry.wordpress.com. On the screen, you see there's a dot missing. But if you want to see all the close-ups of the flowers and the trees, you'll see orchids, you'll see other flowers, yellow roses and red roses. Any of the garden helpful hints, you'll see them on artfromperry.wordpress.com. And you can also go and see like another 1,500 photographs at Flickr. Go to flickr.com and check out Art from Perry. Okay, so we're going to go back in and see what's on the next screen. Probably, I think we've covered grafting, but if there's another screen about grafting, we'll go through that and then go on to the next one.
Yeah, you can.
More grafting.
You can. I don't know if we need to go through all the
Well,
steps.
yeah, let's go over that because we have another 11 minutes, so we do have time.
Okay.
Unless you gave that information already.
Place the graft with the barkless portion facing the interior of the tree into the stump, making sure the cambial layers of the graft and the stump connect. Use wire or elastic material to wrap the stump and the graft tightly together. So that's important. Do not remove the wire for at least a year to ensure they bond properly.
You're watching the Books and Music Review show, books.musicreview@gmail.com. If you'd like to show your garden or you want us to come and film a video show in your garden, We might be able to do that if you contact us as soon as possible at books.musicreview@gmail.com. We'll probably give that again at the end of the show. Meanwhile, we'll go on to the next topic, still relating to plants and flowers. And maybe not grafting, because we said everything we could say about
Yeah,
grafting.
there's a lot of
Water lilies. Okay, so what about water lilies?
Okay, so you don't want them to be around for a long time. You can grow hardy water lilies in containers as small as 15 gallons. So it takes a lot of water to grow. Each plant needs about 36 square feet of water surface area to thrive, equivalent to a small pond. Hardy water lilies should be planted in early spring and fertilized every 4 to 6 weeks.
And we haven't seen any water lilies around Staten Island yet, but it's probably because we haven't looked hard enough. So, what's next? Indoor gardens and containers. Tell us about those.
So long, low containers fit alongside a mano shelf or hall table. Softer, rounded containers work with a bedside table. Drop potted plants inside glass containers where the empty space will be filled with pebbles, moss, gravel, or other small objects, which will enhance its look. Different containers: old terracotta pots, small tin containers, thin porcelain pots, oval tins, perspex office pots, white curvy containers. So those are just some examples of different containers you could use.
And I would like to say there are some magnificent gardens in Staten Island. A few I discovered recently. There are two that I'm thinking of that stand out, and they're not botanic gardens, but they're people's personal gardens, really wild. There's one over, I'm not sure if it's the New Dorp area or Grasmere area. They have an Indian that is about 15 feet tall. They have a koi pond that probably has 10 to 15 koi in it. And they have all sorts of potted flowers, different flowers in different containers. What else is in that yard? Do you remember? Remember we saw that?
Yeah, there's a lot of. It's a really artistic garden. It really stands out as a. I don't know if it's. I guess it. I don't know if it's an attraction in Staten Island. When we were there, we didn't see that many people, but maybe it does look like.
But what I
something that could
loved
stop
about it was the
traffic.
koi, the fish. The fish were so beautiful.
Yeah, there's a koi pond.
And there's another one, which I don't think you've seen, but I have seen, which I thought was absolutely adorable. They had a few different flower pots in the yard. And in the middle of the yard, they had a flower bed. Literally a bed. You know how you use the expression flower bed? They had somebody had handcrafted a wooden bed. And then in the bed where the mattress would be were different flower pots filled with flowers. Another yard had a happy face. So you can see some pretty interesting yards and gardens in Staten Island and all over New York City. I'm going to go on to the next slide in just a moment. And I'm just reminding you that, you know what show you're watching. We don't edit. What you see is what you get. Let's go on to the next slide. We got 6 minutes left.
And here's some of the tools you need for an indoor garden. Strong wire can be used to anchor stems. String wire, sorry. String or wire can be used to anchor stems. Gardening gloves, obviously. Plant labels made of materials such as slate or wood. Small versions of garden trowels and forks. Watering can with a long spout. Broken terracotta pots, again, pots used for drainage at the bottom of another pot. Decorative mulches and top dressings such as green moss, buttons, shells, fossils, pebbles, crushed glass.
Great. And one of my favorite yards has a whole bunch of different flower pots. And what's really great about Staten Island is a lot of yards and gardens are coming up with this idea of rock gardens. What I love about a rock garden is that you don't have to mow it. So you could put a little cacti in the rock garden. You could put a little Dusty Miller in and out of the rock garden. A good way to do a rock garden is cut all the grass off, pull it out by the roots, and then put some kind of a coating down, like one of the, they actually have material that's made for this purpose. If you want to cut your grass out, you can put down a black material that will stop the weeds from growing through, and then you can put your rocks on top of that. So I do love rock gardens. Let's go on to the next slide and see what that says.
Building a terrarium. So this was something you mentioned off there. You need a glass container, rocks, for example, pebbles, sea glass, marble, sheet moss, soil plants that won't overgrow, boxwood, croton, Joseph's coat. So these are just some things you need to get started. Spoons or a funnel for placing soil, tweezers, scissors, cotton swabs, or paper towels.
A terrarium. So the first thing we did was, because we did start a terrarium just this week, somebody had given us a small aquarium. It looks like it was maybe, maybe 3 gallons or so. So I started with a whole bunch of different rocks and pebbles on the bottom. On top of that, I put the charcoal and then a layer of soil. And we're going to put the plants in soon. But I suggest getting a 5-gallon or more terrarium if you want a bigger one, because then on the small one, 2 gallons, you're going to need little tiny plants. We've only got 3 minutes and 53 seconds left.
Okay, so should we go to the credits and wrap up, or?
That's a great idea. Thank you for that. Let me. That's very good. Credits. Let's see if we can go to the credits. Let's see if we can find the credits. We'll click them real fast. Where's my credits? I know there are credits there. Oh. Let's see if we can go this way. Are we going backwards or frontwards?
No, this is the end of the...
Okay, we got 3 minutes. I'm going to try to get to the credits. And I might go down there. There's Dusty Miller.
Oh, and here's some more great pictures of plants.
There you go. There's the credits for the slides.
Okay, so the first 6 slides, as well as 10, 29, 36, 37, are courtesy of the host. Also the information. Slide 7 is from naturehills.com. I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
7 to 9, bromeliads.
I'll click to the next slide. Is there another more
Slides
credits?
13 to 16, the complete practical encyclopedia of bonsai, and the Bonsai Empire. And I think there is more.
Well, they can just read that. I think we have 2 minutes and 31 seconds. Read the bottom one.
Most of the Macmillan Treasury of Herbs, a complete guide to the cultivation of wild and domesticated herbs. And finally, sip away to... These are some of the slides that we didn't get to...
Michael McGroarty.
Yeah.
Sorry to interrupt you, but I have to say, he has some of the best videos going. Mike's BackyardNursery.com. I really got a lot of information. I got free information from Mike. And let's get back to... I don't know if we can go to the beginning. Let's see.
Yeah, so
no, I'll take that off the screen. You can continue
I
talking.
was just going to say, most of the material you saw was...
So we got 1 minute and 54
quoted or
seconds.
paraphrased from the books and websites that you see in the credits. You didn't get to see the video by Michael McGroarty, but he has his own business, his own gardening business and website, which is worth checking out. I don't know if you saw the website; it flashed really quickly towards the end, but there's a great video where he describes grafting, I believe.
And he just has great garden information. If you want any gardening information or any questions about anything you heard, write to that email that you saw throughout the show. Send us an email or go to artfromperry.wordpress.com. Yes, you can go to that site. We're not selling anything. This is public TV, information TV, community TV, and we're just giving you information. That's it. We like to share information, and we'd like you to share information about your garden. What is your garden like? When did you start growing it? 43 seconds. And we did already say that we're produced through the facilities of Staten Island Community Television. You have something to say, Gerard?
Yeah, so for anyone who's interested in gardening or flowers, they should just check out some of the sites that are listed during the credits I mean, there's some great information out there besides what you've already heard.
Okay, so 17 seconds. 17 seconds about flowers. Go get some Dusty Miller. Yeah, go look it up in the library, find some pictures of Dusty Miller, and find out all about Dusty Miller. It's probably the best flower you can ever get. It's actually a plant, but it looks a little bit like a flower.